Hi, my name is Yaw Ampofo Jr. and this is my YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and share. Recommend a friend to also subscribe to the channel. We'll be analyzing everything Black Stars ahead of the World Cup. I have my tactical board here. We'll be looking at everything you need to know from various positions within the Black Stars unit and many more that you need to know on or in the sports world. Welcome. Now, my name is Yaw Ampofo Jr. and this is my build-up to the World Cup in Qatar. Ghana will be participating for the fourth time at the Mundial. It's only right that we analyze and we break down the possible squad of Ghana, or even better, look at the various variables that we can look at in the World Cup. We'll make it data-based analysis. That is basically what you'll be doing here. We look at the formations, the possible formations by Otuado, and then the technical team that will be taking Ghana to Qatar. So basically, I have here Ghana versus any other team that will be playing at the World Cup. Now, we'll be taking it one after the other. So first, the goalkeeping department is a very big department when it comes to Ghana football at the moment. There's various discussions on social media or even mainstream media about who is better placed or who is Ghana's safest pair of hands. So today's discussion will be very focused on Ghana's safest pair of hands. Now, we've seen 6 goalkeeping changes in the Black Stars. I mean 6 call-ups to goalkeepers in the Black Stars. We've seen Richard Ofori at a point in time being Black Stars number 1. We've seen Jojo Wollacott coming in as a Black Stars number 1. We've seen Ati-Zigi at a point in time coming in as Black Stars number 1 on interim basis anyway. We've seen also Danlad Ibrahim coming in. We've seen also another Kotoko goalkeeper, Abadora, also coming in, and then also Richard Atta, making it 6 goalkeepers who have made it to the Black Stars over the past year. Now, this basis comes back from the AFCON and then all the qualifying rounds that Ghana has played in the World Cup. Now, goalkeeping is a very important department when it comes to football at the moment. Now, since 2014, when Manuel Neuer, who is the German goalkeeper, who won the World Cup with Germany in 2014, he redefined the role of the goalkeeper. In 2014, he actually made distributions and a very different approach to how goalkeeping was seen then and then how goalkeeping is seen now. So Manuel Neuer made a really huge stride when it comes to goalkeeping. In 2014, he became a distributor, one man who can come out from his goal, be the 5th man on the pitch for the German national team, be as almost like a sweeper for the German national team. So he has redefined the role of a goalkeeper, and modern day has seen goalkeepers being more of distributors than the normal saves that we know goalkeepers to do. But the very big but is that the first role of a goalkeeper is indeed to stop balls, to prevent goals from entering into the post. So Manuel Neuer may redefine how goalkeepers may be, but it's also important to know the very biggest and then the most crucial role of a goalkeeper, which is keeping out balls. Now let's take a look at the metrics of Manuel Neuer at the 2014 World Cup. Now he made 48.7 touches per game in that particular World Cup, 25.1 accurate passes per game, which is really impressive for a goalkeeper, and then 22.1 accurate passes in his own half, representing 92% success rate when it comes to passing in his own area, that is his own half, and then a total of 201 out of 231 accurate passes. That is really impressive for a goalkeeper. Then that also represents 87 pass accuracy. Like I stated, he redefined how goalkeepers were looked at by technical bodies after the World Cup. Now, he made 3.4 saves per game, which is really important. Like I stated also earlier, that goalkeepers, their primary role is saving out balls. So Manuel Neuer had the balance of the two, keeping out balls and also redefining the role by being a distributor, which is really important in the modern day game. Now, one key thing about Manuel Neuer's game in 2014, which really made us stand out, is that apart from passing from the back, he made 0 errors leading to goal, which is really an important metric when it comes to passing out from the back, because most keepers may pass out from the back, but the errors, the number of mistakes that they make is actually redefining and turning on their teams into losing position. So Manuel Neuer had the balance of everything a modern day goalkeeper and also redefined the role in 2014. like Manuel Neuer in 2018, we saw a very different perspective to goalkeeping. Hugo Lloris was the goalkeeper in post for France when they won the World Cup in 2018. Lloris will offer a different perspective to how Manuel Neuer will see things, even though Lloris also made really, really good strides when it comes to playing out from the back. Now, Lloris predominantly was known for saves and saving the French national team from conceding goals, but also the distribution aspect came in, and then he made some really, really good numbers that we have not seen of goalkeepers in the age of ball-playing goalkeepers at the World Cup. Now, let's look at the metrics of Hugo Lloris at the 2018 World Cup. So, Hugo Lloris will offer something different in the 2018 World Cup. Like I stated, keepers are known primarily for preventing balls. They are supposed to prevent balls from getting into the net. Now let's look at the metrics of Hugo Lloris. Now Hugo Lloris made 31.8 touches per game, which is very different from Manuel Neuer, who made 48.7 touches per game. Now he will complete 14.8 accurate passes per game, representing 58% of passes, compared to Manuel Neuer, who averaged or made 87 accurate passes at the 2014 World Cup. So we are looking at two different perspectives for goalkeepers. Now this will guide us into predicting what the best or who the best Ghana goalkeeper will be. I'm looking at the two last World Cups because it is important, and it will guide us to know who is better placed to be or who is Ghana's safest pair of hands. Now also, he made 87 accurate pass success rate. Now that is Hugo Lloris. One error leading to goal, which is a very important metric, like I stated in the argument for the fact for Manuel Neuer, who made 0 errors leading to goal. Now Hugo Lloris made 1 error leading to goal. Now you look at the metrics of Hugo Lloris. Not so dominant on the feet, but he managed to do the simple basic things for the French national team. That important metric about his game is saving abilities. Even though France were very solid when it came to defending, there was always that extra moment where they needed Hugo Lloris to make the difference for them. So we have seen 2 different years where goalkeepers became distributors and goalkeepers also became people who had to do their primary job, saving. So Hugo Lloris is a perfect example of goalkeepers who needed saving, and Manuel Neuer the balance of the two, and redefining the role in 2018. Now let's move away from the 2018 World Cup and look at Ghana's debut at the World Cup. Ghana's debut at the World Cup is very important because this metric will guide us to know whether or not we need a ball-playing goalkeeper or a goalkeeper who will be good and effective for the kind of system we want to play. Now, notwithstanding, I understand that modern day goalkeeping and modern day football would demand of goalkeepers to pass out from the back. But it's also important to know what variable or what goalkeeper you have, and that really depicts the system that you want to play in. Now, Ghana may want to play from the back, but does our goalkeepers or do our goalkeepers give us the best benefit of the doubt that indeed they can play from the back? We can also look at the metrics of our goalkeepers. That we'll do later in the discussion. But now, let's go back into time and look at the 2006 World Cup, where Ghana was making their debut. The key goalkeeper in that figure is Richard Kingston. Richard Kingston was very pivotal for Ghana. Even though Ghana lost in the first game 2-0 to Italy, they really made some good strides. Now let's look at the metrics of Richard Kingston in the 2 World Cup years that he participated for Ghana. Now, like I said, Richard Kingston participated for Ghana in 2 World Cup years, 2006 and 2010. He was a main figure, he was a mainstay in the Black Stars team for a very long time between those years that he was the number 1 in the national team at 2 World Cups, which is really impressive of him. Now, he made 59 out of 117 accurate passes, representing 50.4% of passes that he made at the 2 World Cups that he was in. Now, the accurate long balls rate was 33%. That is 33.33%. So when you approximate, it's still 33%. Now, Richard Kingston in the 20 World Cup made 39 out of 96 passes, representing 40%. So in the first World Cup in 2006, he was really impressive, even though you can attribute that to the kind of variables Ghana had in that 2018 World Cup. It's really important to know the variables you have, and really it helps depict whether or not who is better placed to play which system and what the coaches will manage to choose in that particular one. So in the 2010 World Cup, 39 out of 96 passes representing 40.6%, and then the long ball rate was 24 out of 80, representing 30% accuracy in long balls. Now, the passes per game was 14 passes per game. So you look at the metrics of Manuel Neuer, you look at the metrics of Hugo Lloris, who was the French national goalkeeper when they won the World Cup. In both years of the Manuel Neuer and then Hugo Lloris, both teams won the World Cup. But we are looking at a very, very different perspective anyway. But you look at Richard Kenson. Now you look at the metrics, it is below par when it comes to ball playing goalkeepers. Even though he was very good distribution-wise in his age in the 2006 World Cup, because it wasn't so dominant, but in modern days, very dominant. Anyway, he was class for Ghana, no doubt about it. Now, his save rate was very impressive for the Black Stars. Now, between 2014, there were two other goalkeepers who were within the Black Stars unit, Adam Kwarase and Fatau Dauda. Because they split the number of games that they played, playing only 3 games at the World Cup, I won't really look at their metrics, but the key thing for Richard Kenson is that he made a lot of saves for Ghana and helped Ghana make huge strikes at the World Cup. Now, let's come back into the Black Stars team. We've looked at the metrics of Richard Kenson. We've looked at the metrics of Hugo Lloris. We've looked at the metrics of someone who redefined the role of a goalkeeper in 2014, Manuel Neuer. Now, in our current Black Stars setting, we know that our goalkeepers are not the best of ball players. Now, we need to draft a system where it will allow them to function and also look at the primary role of goalkeepers in teams to really be able to know who is better placed in the goalpost for Ghana. Now, my analysis is based on the fact that the primary role of a goalkeeper is goalkeeping. Even though in modern day, we need goalkeepers who can do both or keep and also good on their feet, but it is very important to know the kind of goalkeepers and really tells how your function or the functions of your team will be. Now, even for the defenders of the Black Stars team or the Ghana defenders, we may argue that they are really good at ball playing, but they are not at par when it comes to the European teams at ball playing. So the better placed discussion for the goalkeeping department is who is better placed to save balls, because Ghana will be facing a lot of shots, especially with the kind of teams that we will be facing at the World Cup. However, we'll look at the metrics of our goalkeepers in various departments, and first is Jojo Wollacott. Now, Jojo Wollacott has saved 82.3% of shots from outside the box this season, which is really impressive, because goalkeeper's primary function, like I stated, is saving out balls. Now, in Sweden Town, he was ranked as the 3rd best goalkeeper in 2021, and then in 2020, he was ranked as the 6th best goalkeeper when it came to saves. Now, in Charlton, he's made 33 saves this season. The save percentage rate at Charlton this season from 33 saves is 70.2 save percentage, which is really, really impressive for a goalkeeper. He is a shot stopper. So Jojo Wollacott defines his role as a shot stopper, even though he has a bit of ball playing abilities to his name, but he's not so comfortable on the ball and will look or hoof the ball away anytime he gets opportunity. So it's good to look at that. But also, another goalkeeper who is arguably the best goalkeeper when it comes to the Black Stars and playing the ball on the feet is Abdul Manaf Nurudeen. Now, Abdul Manaf Nurudeen plays for Cas Open in the Belgian Pro League. Now, he's lost his place, however, to another goalkeeper this season. But after his tries at the Caribbean Cup, where he became the very first Ghanaian in so many years to guide Ghana to win on penalties, there are still shouts for him to be in the Black Stars team. And without a doubt, he's 23 years of age, and it can be argued that, well, it could be a project in the long term. He can succeed as perhaps the Black Stars #1. Now let's look at the metrics of Manaf Nurudeen. Now he's made 10 saves this season, representing 58.8% saves this season. Now you compare this to Jojo Wollacott, who's made 70.2% saves this season, which is, there's a huge gap in ball saves, even though Manaf Nurudeen will complement it with the number of ball playing abilities that he demonstrates. Well, goalkeeping and keeping out balls is a really, really important metric, and that is basically why he's out of the goalpost at Cas Open at the moment. Now, when you're looking for a natural shot-stopper, a ball-playing goalkeeper, and everything a goalkeeper would deem as a perfect fit for any team, then Ati-Zigi is your man. But the issue of Ati-Zigi is, well, he doesn't seem to show that kind of progress that he shows as a club side in the Swiss Pro League in Ghana. Now, Ati-Zigi has come under a lot of criticisms, but when you look at the metrics of Ati-Zigi, it's really, really impressive. He is comfortable playing from the back. He can make saves and really, really brilliant saves. Now, in 2020-2021 season, the Swiss Super League, he was ranked as a fourth best goalkeeper when it comes to saves, with a 71.2% save rate when in the Swiss Pro League. That is Ati-Zigi. Surprising, right? Anyway, in 2021-2022 season, again, he made 64.9% save. When you approximate that, that is 65% save percentage. That is the 10th best on the league log. Now, in 2023, he's ranked 4th best in the league when it comes to saving out balls. Now, really, really impressive, no doubt about it. But he has not been able to impress Ghanaians, and also his rate of conceding goals with the Black Stars team is really, really different. And then, as a result of this, he's been out of the national team for the last period of time. But when you ask me, on paper, who is better placed or who is the best ball playing and goalkeeping for Ghana, it is Ati-Zigi without a doubt. But you really need to show what you do at your club level in the national team. Zigi hasn't been able to do that. Now, let's move away from Ati-Zigi and look at a goalkeeper like Richard Atta. Richard Atta will be no discussion in the Black Stars team at the moment, because even at the slash side, Accra Folk, he's not finding his feet, and in the last 5 matches, he has not been able to be in the post for Accra Folk. So it is no argument, and I will not waste further time on discussing Richard Atta. All respect to him, but at the moment, he's not better placed to be in the Black Stars team for the World Cup in Qatar. Now, if you ask me who the original Black Stars #1 is, without a doubt, in my opinion, that is Richard Ofori. Richard Ofori has missed out on the Black Stars due to injury, basically. Even for his club side, for 254 days, he has been out of action since 2020. That is not really impressive of a statistics for a goalkeeper. Now, also, he's missed 40 games, which is almost basically a league season for his club side, Orlando Pirates. Even though he comes back into the Orlando Pirates side and becomes a mainstay as #1 of the team, it is not really impressive of a statistics for a goalkeeper to be out and back and forth. Even though a South African journalist I heard over speaking stated that Ofori is really combative as a goalkeeper, and that is to his demise. That is basically why he gets injured often. But let's look at the metrics of Richard Ofori. There is not so much metrics for players playing in Africa. So I'm taking a look at his 2021-2022 CAF Confederations Cup run. That is basically the metrics I'm using for Richard Ofori. So basically, this is the statistics of Richard Ofori in that particular one. Now, look at his ball playing abilities. Look at he averaged 9.5 accurate passes per game. That is 39% success rate. Now, 4.6 accurate passes in his own half, making 82% of passes. Really comfortable playing from the back. Really impressive of a statistics from him. Now, 31.5 touches per game in the CAF Confederations Cup. You look at Orlando Pirates, and they're a very dominant team. In their run to the CAF Confederations Cup finals, they were really dominant, possession and playing or outplaying almost every team. So Ofori was a key part in that. So he's very good playing from the back, really good with his feet, and then the save rate was 2.0 saves per game, representing 84% of saves. So it's basically up and down. Even though Pirates kept 4 clean sheets, which you could attribute to the defensive work of their team, Ofori played a big part in that, and for Ofori, only injuries will keep him out of the Black Stars team. Do I think Ofori is a better placed goalkeeper to be Black Stars #1? Well, keep watching. Well, a final goalkeeper I'll be discussing is Danlad Ibrahim in the second leg after he received a late call-up into the team. Now, for Danlad Ibrahim, there are so many external factors that won't go his way, especially looking at his height, which I'll discuss pretty much shortly. I'll look at the height of every single goalkeeper and then the metrics of goalkeepers in European top teams at the moment, and we'll be really define how what I think about him. But however, he'll be last on the pecking order if I'm supposed to be rating who should be in the Black Stars team. But I feel he's a fine goalkeeper who can make huge strides for the Black Stars, but there is something lacking about him. Personally, I like dominant goalkeepers. I like goalkeepers who are really tall. And it's basic that almost every European team, a top-class team, will prefer a goalkeeper with an audible height, a goalkeeper who has height and can save balls from various angles. Unfortunately, Danlad Ibrahim doesn't have that. Now, if you're asking for the metrics of Danlad Ibrahim at the moment, metrics are not available for Danlad Ibrahim because he plays in the Ghana Premier League. The Ghana Premier League doesn't have basic statistics or any advanced statistics to it. So Danlad Ibrahim, this is all about Danlad Ibrahim, but this is my rating for the Black Stars number 1. I feel Jojo Wollacott with a save percentage will be better placed to be the Black Stars number 1, looking at his height, which as seen on your screens. And then the second place goalkeeper will be Richard Ofori. And then also the third best goalkeeper for me is Manaf Nurudeen. I feel the Ghana Football Association should continue the prospect of bringing out young talent and giving them the opportunity in the Black Stars team. Now, the fourth place goalkeeper for me is Ati-Zigi. Even though metrically or metric-wise, Ati-Zigi will be the number 1 for the Black Stars, but he has not been able to show that when he was given the opportunity within the Black Stars team. Now, the first choice goalkeeper for me is Danlad Ibrahim, and Richard Atta doesn't get a nod in the Black Stars team for me. So this has been my pick for the goalkeeping department, the very first edition of the show. Do stick and stay because we'll be giving you analysis on the various aspects. As you can see on your screens, this is basically how I'm expecting the Black Stars to be setting up in Qatar. And then we'll give you updates and analyze with data-driven evidence to tell you who is better placed to play every single position and who is not deserving to be in the Black Stars team and many more. Stick and stay because we bring you nothing but the best.